Okay, and
Yep,
we are live.
we are
Val.
live. Episode 230. Time to get dirty.
Time to get dirty. So listen, look,
Uh,
folks, you've downloaded episode 230 of the Flixters podcast week in, week out for the last, coming up to 5 years, Deval.
Nearly 5 years. It's coming up to it, man. Nearly 5 years.
This is incredible.
Ugh.
So listen, this is what we're going to be doing. This is the role play. So listen, we're going to be doing shout outs, movie news, new and streaming, trailers. We've got an anniversary corner movie that we've got to speak about, but we've got some film reviews. We've got the big kind of DC movie that we've got to speak about, and a little kind of Oscar. Was it? Yeah, it was Oscar nominated, and it won a few Oscars as well, or at least one. I know for a fact, at least one.
Yes, it did.
So stick around for that. And hope you enjoyed the show. So listen, Deval, let's get into it. What we're doing first?
Yeah, got a couple of shout outs this week. First shout out goes to Zakharov. He actually told me off during the week. Well, not told me off, but he said to me, "Have you seen The Well yet?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I haven't seen it yet. Been meaning to see it for the past few weeks." Obviously, we know the Oscar win that happened last week. Brendon Fraser, Best Actor, among I think a couple of other Oscars they won as well. But I said to him, "I'm going to see it." He said to me, "Make sure when you watch it, you've got tissues. You've got a lot of tissues, or Kleenex, as the Americans say."
Yeah.
So yeah, we saw it. We're going to watch it later on. So we're going to review it later on and tell you what we thought of it.
Exactly.
So big shout out to Zakharov for making sure we watched The Whale. Yeah,
I love it. Getting input from the audience, and they're telling us what to watch.
Exactly. Next shout out goes to, we can't mention The Whale without mentioning A24, Say No More. We don't usually mention, or give shout outs to film studios or film companies, but I think A24, we've been talking about them for a long time. People,
they should put us on the payroll.
Exactly, like A24, we were talking about their movies for ages, saying how good they are.
Yep.
Like, if you know what, maybe one day we'll do a show of just A24.
A24, good idea.
Maybe we'll do that because they got so many movies. But yeah, A24, big shout out to them. They won the Oscars. They clocked it. They clocked the Oscars last week.
Everything, everywhere, all at once, man.
Exactly.
Done it.
And The Whale, they just clocked the Oscars. So big shout out to them. And anything you see with A24, make sure you give it a watch.
Yeah, definitely.
Make sure.
That movie that we reviewed probably about 2-3 months ago, Men, was that A24?
No, but it looks like it could have been, isn't it? I don't think it was, I don't think it was.
All right, okay. Yeah, because that sound is like as if that could come
from Yeah. I don't think it was. Could be wrong, but
yeah. All right. Those are the shout outs. And remember, you could be a shout out as well. Just get in touch with us on Instagram, on YouTube. Let us know what you're watching and we will definitely mention you on the show. All right, let's get into movie news and Deval. So listen, remember we spoke about The Fall. Is it The Fall or is it just called Fall?
It's just Fall, actually.
It's just called Fall, right? So we spoke about this on the show, and it's about these two women. They go off on a kind of climbing hike. One of the tallest man-made structures in America, obviously fictionalized and everything like that. And there's kind of like, a whole kind of suspenseful, exciting thing that happens over there. And Deval, so the big news there is what are they going to do with this one? They're talking about a sequel.
A sequel, yeah. And I actually remember you spoke about it a while ago, and I actually only saw it recently when it came on Netflix.
Yeah,
and I realized that it was really good. I wasn't expecting much. I actually forgot a bit about it, and I watched it Netflix, and I was like, this film's actually decent. It's very very isolated, not a big cast. Like you mentioned, they go in like they're rock climbers, and they like to test themselves. And there's in Fall Part 1, there was a tragedy that happened that sort of sparked on the story to make one of the characters overcome their fears. And actually the main character in Fall is called Grace Caroline Curry, and she's actually in Shazam. She's the one in Shazam, the one that doesn't have any change. So in Shazam 1 and 2, like the Shazam family.
Yeah. she's the older sister.
Yeah, she's the only one that doesn't change. Everyone else changes but her. I wonder if she got paid twice. But anyway, because she does double the work. Everyone else does half of the work.
You're absolutely right.
She should get good pay. She's
the one from Fall. From Fall.
Yes.
Yeah.
looks so different. But yeah, so she's in this, and there's going to be a fall two because fall two has been so successful. I think it was a $3 million budget,
Yeah,
and it made
yeah,
23 million or 22 million. So so yeah, this movie is looking like it could be another smash hit on Netflix. So watch out
yeah.
for fall two.
Yeah, interesting fact about this. I was reading
Mm.
about when I was reviewing it. The movie originally, Devaldo, was going to be a kind of 50. It was going to be a higher rating because it had more
Yes.
swear
Yeah.
words,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
apparently they used AI or some sort of new technology that they're using in filmmaking at the moment to change the. They
Oh.
redubbed it and they
Oh, is it?
changed the lips
Oh
of the
wow.
actors, so there's no swearing.
That's crazy.
Mad.
Crazy.
And it's more and more of that it will happen. Like, trust me, with the way AI is going at the moment, they're saying that AI will be able to start making movies within the
Like
next 2 or 3 years.
Superman, like Henry Cavill Superman
Oh
moustache,
god,
isn't it?
that
It's
was
kind of like that kind of
embarrassing.
technology, maybe.
That was so embarrassing. That was all right. Okay, so yeah, so go check that out. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's on Netflix, and yeah, you'll probably enjoy that movie. All right, let's speak about this now. Tom Cruise, interestingly, Devaldo, one of the jokes that Jimmy Kimmel, he hosted the Oscars, he made about the
Yeah.
Oscars was the fact that Tom Cruise and what's his name, James Cameron, they
Mm.
didn't show up at the Oscars, which was his joke was, isn't it ironic that those who didn't show up, yet their movies were the ones that put people like into this like bums on seats in cinema.
Mm. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And a lot
Yeah.
of people are saying the reason why they didn't show up is because their movies weren't nominated, like or they weren't nominated, but he wasn't. They didn't win anything, I don't think.
Oh, so that means
Uh,
they probably know who's going to win from
yeah,
before.
beforehand, and he was
Depends
just
on
like,
where you're
"Sod it."
seated.
Exactly. But what's this about Tom Cruise?
Yeah, so Tom Cruise, obviously the gangster that he is,
Mm.
he somehow got to see a advanced screening of The Flash, and from what I understand, he was so impressed with it that
Uh,
he actually reached out and he picked up his phone and he called the director of The Flash. Yeah,
whoa.
exactly. So
You what?
yeah, this is crazy. So he actually, yeah. So it just goes to show the film was so good. Tom Cruise was like, "Do you know what?" He said, "Yo, man, Andy Muschietti, your film is so good, man, so good." So yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things. I mean, so far, James Gunn has said the film's crazy good, and
Yes.
now we're hearing Tom Cruise say the film's crazy good. And so far, the reviews have been it's crazy good. So it looks
Crazy
like
good.
this could be a
This
good
could be
film.
this could be crazy good. But
Mm.
listen, interestingly, remember James Gunn, he said he goes, it's one of the best superhero movies that he's seen.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
This is
That's a big statement, man.
this guy's coming from Disney. This guy's coming from
Mm.
Marvel.
Yeah, big statement. Yeah, big
All
statement.
right. Well, listen, we're definitely on this. Just remind everyone again, Deval, when is it coming out?
It's coming out this summer, summer 2023. I believe it's July.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. Am I wrong? Am I right? Let me see. It's June, June the 16th. Yeah, so
June, we're
3 months
in March.
time. Exactly
In
three
June.
months time. Pretty much.
3 months. There you go. All right. Okay. Let's move on. Let's talk about David Robert Mitchell.
Hmm.
Um, the name is not familiar, Devaldo, but I'm pretty sure you're going to let me know who it
Behind
is.
you. Look behind, what's up behind you? What's up behind you?
The
Huh?
wall, the
No, no.
light.
Something's following you.
Oh, fuck. Yes.
Ah, oh
It
my
follows.
yes,
I
the
knew it.
director, the director of It Follows.
Great
If you have,
movie.
look, just if you haven't seen It Follows, it for me is one of the greatest modern
Yeah.
horror films.
Yeah.
Just you got to watch the film. It's
Mm.
2014, or yeah, I think it's 2014.
Yeah.
It's so clever, so clever. But yeah, go watch
Yeah.
It Follows. It's just like you mentioned. Yeah, so David Robert Mitchell, he's now been set to direct a dinosaur film.
Is
Yeah, a
it?
dinosaur film
Oh.
that is set in the 80s.
Mm.
So he's going back to the 80s. I don't know how that's going to change anything, but it's going to be set in
Yeah.
the 80s. It's going to star Anne Hathaway. So this is a director that has been doing lots of indie films and
Yeah.
been doing some quite edgy films and stuff like that. I think he made Under the Silver Lake with Spider-Man. What's his name?
Spider-Man, Maguire. No, sorry.
Um,
Shit. I
oh,
know.
he's gonna love this, isn't he?
Uh, what's his name? Come on, we know.
Amazing Spider-Man.
Yes. And
Uh,
all right, it's going to come to us. It
Gonna
will
come to
definitely
us.
come to. It's going to come to us. But
I hate
listen,
this.
Anne Hathaway, she's done.
Yeah.
Remember, she did a movie where it was like a kind of not a Godzilla. I want to say Godzilla, but not Godzilla, but something to do with kind
Oh,
of like
we
a
are
giant.
giants.
We are
And,
giants, is it?
something giants. Kill giants or some. Oh,
I kill
something like
giants.
I kill giants. That's the one. Yeah, good
No,
film.
no, 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 no.
Good film.
I kill giants is something else.
No, that was it, wasn't it?
I no, Anne Hathaway.
Yeah, I'm sure that was it.
Okay, what this is going to be great for people to watch, by the way. So
No, I'm
I
sure that was it.
kill.
Oh no, that was something else. Oh, you're talking about
Yes.
the one that's made like a remake of the Korean film where,
Yeah,
like,
it's kind
sh-
of she's
yes,
controlling a
yes,
Godzilla or something,
yes,
or some
yes,
sort of.
yes.
I
Andrew
can't remember.
Garfield. Sorry, by the way.
Andrew
Yeah,
Garfield was
yeah, yeah,
shit.
yeah. Oh
But there's
yes,
a movie. There's a movie that Anne Hathaway is set in the 80s. I'm pretty sure it's set in some sort of kind of weird like time,
yeah.
or it's got
You
that
watched
80s
it.
feeling.
You watched it. I didn't see it, but you watched it. But
And somehow she has the power that
mm,
controls this massive giant, and it's basically
colossal, colossal,
colossal. That was it.
colossal. Yeah,
Yeah,
colossal.
that's an
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
interesting movie. So what?
Ah,
So she's gonna be with David Robert
yeah,
making this
Mitchell.
movie, and it's
Yeah.
about a dinosaur.
That's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's about
Okay.
dinosaurs. So it's going to be, I guess, like Jurassic Park of
Oh,
some variety, but just set in the 80s. And yeah, that's I
okay.
don't know what's going to be called yet, but we'll have to wait and see. Oh yeah, here it is, untitled Anna Hathaway, Robert Mitchell film. So far, she's the only person that's been listed. So
Okay.
pre-production.
All right. Well, yeah, we'll keep an eye on that one. Sounds interesting. All right. Another thing that might sound interesting to you listeners out there, check this out. So we know about M. Night Shyamalan. He's this kind of, writer, director. He kind of obviously got huge success when he came to The Sixth Sense and like
Mm,
Unbreakable and things like that. And we recently watched Knock on the Woods. No, Cabin in the Woods, is it?
yeah, yeah.
Which has got some really great things about it as well. Dave Bautista. But check this out: his daughter is making her directorial film debut. Her name is Ishana
Mm,
Knight, and let's face it, Deval, if you've got a famous film director,
man,
right? Listen,
yeah.
it's not gonna. I know, like, look, nepotism, it exists, and like,
Mm,
I'm all for kind of like, people, they want to do things all on their own. But listen, man, if you got a famous parent, and you're going to end up using it somehow. And apparently she was a second unit director on a lot of the movies that he made, and
is
Servant.
it?
She wrote and directed episodes of Servant as well,
Ah,
and
okay.
he's an exec producer on that. But check this out:
Yeah.
she is a new line has landed, The Watchers. It's a project from Ishana. It's gonna be her feature directorial debut, and it's
Mm,
going to be produced by M. Night Shyamalan's film studio. But check this out: The Watchers follows a girl called Mina. Not a girl, sorry, a woman called Mina. She's a 28-year-old artist who gets stranded in an expansive, untouched forest in Western Ireland. When Mina
Western
fi-
Island.
yeah,
Oh.
when Mina finds shelter, she unknowingly becomes trapped alongside three strangers that are watched and stalked by mysterious creatures each night.
Mm-mm.
This is called The Watchers.
Mm-mm.
So I'm guessing this is going to have that M. Night touch to it, right? It's going to maybe
Mm,
be a twist, a bit horror, a bit kind of
mm,
thrills. There's going to be that sort of thing
mm.
going on in there. And
Let's
I
keep
didn't
it in
know
the
this.
family.
Keeping it in the family.
Yeah,
Devout,
keep
I didn't
because
know this. His movies have grossed 3.3 billion
oh,
worldwide.
oh, serious. Okay, that's decent. That's very decent.
Yeah.
I was going to say he's also got his other daughter involved as well. She goes by the name of Salika, and she's sung songs for the films as well. It sounds like I'm joking, but I'm not. I'm actually being very serious.
What?
She's sung, yeah, he's got another daughter called Salika.
Salika. Sounds like
Yeah,
a car.
no, What there's the Celica is in like Toyota Celica.
Yeah. Oh shit! I didn't know this. Damn.
Yeah. There she is. Look.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Look,
Celica.
check
Yeah.
her out. Look, there is a place.
Mm,
So what that?
mm.
So she sings for his movies.
Yeah. So she sung songs for Old, and she sung songs for Servant as well. So
Mm,
yeah. So he's keeping it all
definitely
in the
keeping it in
family.
the
So
family. Like,
yeah.
trust me, keeping it. You got a director. You got
Mm,
another director. Got a singer. So listen, look, we'll keep an eye out on the Watcher. So nothing's been announced yet of when it's going to come out, but we know that it's going to be starting production, and it's being fast tracked for a June the 7th, 2024 global theatrical release.
okay.
So we'll see
Okay.
what happens on that one.
Okay.
And listen, finally, let's mention this on our film news. Sad news, sad. Because listen, man, I'm a huge
Mm,
fan of this guy, huge fan of this actor, Lance Reddick. You know, famed actor from The Wire,
mm,
from
mm,
John Wick, from Fringe. He passed
mm,
away at age 60. Deval,
yeah. He's been
come
around.
on.
He's been around for a long time. It's funny as well. He's the sort of person like Morgan Freeman. It's like I remember
Yeah,
him in The Wire looking the same as he looks now. You know what I mean? It's like
hasn't
one of those actors that
aged,
just stays a certain age. That's it. But yeah, I was shocked. This is literally he died on the 17th of March, so
which was,
just a few days ago. By the time you're listening to this, and
oh, yeah, yeah, sorry, yeah.
yeah, so John Wick, like you mentioned, the Wire. He was in that Resident Evil sort of spin-off
Yes,
on Netflix. Godzilla versus Kong is on Bosch. Uh, just a whole bunch of he done voiceover stuff as well. A whole
yeah.
bunch of TV and movie shows. And just a few days before, a friend and I were talking about him just the day before it happened. So it's just crazy how life is. But
Mm.
yeah, it's definitely going to be missed in Hollywood for sure.
Oh man, definitely. I listen. I'm not sure if you saw this
Mm,
show, but it's called Fringe. It ran for about 5 seasons.
yeah.
He played one of the guys in that show. He was brilliant in that, and that was kind of like this sci-fi kind of X Files type
Yeah.
of a show thing. So that was really good, man. Listen, and obviously,
Yeah.
The Wire. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, yeah.
gangster show. So
Mm.
rest in peace, Lance. All right, Devaldo, let's speak about this. I want to just spend at least about 5 minutes just speaking about this one. This is The Last of Us, and
Last of Us. You've played the
Deval.
game as well, so for you, it's a different experience because you've played the game.
Man,
Like,
yes.
do you know certain things? 'Cause I don't know anything. I watch it fresh.
In the final episode, there was a bit
Mm.
where he's like, "Ellie, pass me the ladder."
Straight from the game, isn't it?
Straight from the
Yeah,
game. So, and
yeah,
you know when they open the doors and when they kind of like there's a kind of
yeah.
like this noise where the door opens, this
Mm,
exact same sound that they use
mm.
for that they use in
From the
this one.
game.
I'm telling you, Devaldo,
Oh.
there's so this is the finale. So it's this Last of Us is kind of has ended. But listen, we implore you to go out and watch this show
Mm,
because this final episode is just the kind of it capped the whole show. This relationship between Ellie and Joel going on this journey across America, fighting clickers, fighting humans, which you rightly said, Deval, they are
mm,
the real monsters.
yep, yep.
We in episode 3 we kind of had a sidestep look at kind of like another these two other guys and how their life kind of transpired during the whole kind of end of the world scenario, but mainly it's about these two. And finally, Deval, they kind of these two, they open up,
Mm,
they get closer. There is that definitely there's that connection over there. Joel has to make some hard decisions, but for me anyway, Deval, there's a scene where they reach their destination. uh, Ellie is going to be, they're going to do some tests on Ellie, but Joel doesn't want this to happen. Then Joel goes, he turns it up to number 11 and then
mm,
he goes ballistic. And listen, let me tell you this one thing, right, Deval? There's this scene where he takes out a whole bunch of people, and it's not like John Wick, like where he takes out people. This is kind of almost like a dad, a father figure who is got one thing on his mind to save like someone.
mm,
And for me it was super realistic because as a parent
mm,
you would do anything to save your child. And for
mm.
me, I got that through and through
Okay.
from Pedro Pascal when he was acting it. I was like, this guy is going to take
Mm.
down as many like mofos just to get to Ellie,
Yeah.
because he wants to save her. That is it, because he lost his daughter in the first episode, and he sees her as kind of like this surrogate daughter.
Mm. It was I mean, that episode, that scene that you're describing, when you watch it, everyone, and feel it, the morality is out the window. Whether right or wrong,
Yeah.
I personally think it was the wrong thing to do, but I can
Yeah.
get why he did it, and it's just it turns for me. That was the monster. That the
Yeah.
clickers don't. I think he almost turned into a mindless monster then, because he turned into a clicker. Clickers don't question; they just go, kill, and move on. And
Good
that's
point.
almost what he done. And
Great
it's
point.
just, and obviously it's like Eddie turned into his reason to live, to carry on. Because I think without that, like he talked about, I think he talked about a time where he tried to commit suicide, but he didn't do it
Mm,
properly or something like that. Like Ellie's his reason to live on. And if Ellie is not around anymore because she's saved the world, his reason is gone. But then Ellie wants her reason of existing to be more than just her.
mm,
And it's like, oh man, just the morality of it all. It was such a crazy episode, even from the beginning when you saw
yeah.
Ellie's mum. There's a flashback. Ellie's
Oh,
mum giving birth to Ellie. We saw Marlene in the episode,
yeah.
and just more Easter eggs. You know that actor? That's the same actor who voices Marlene. You know that
Yeah, 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 yeah. You
same
mentioned that. I
actor
saw it.
voicing
Yeah.
Marlene. And Ellie's mum, guess who that is?
That's Ellie.
That's the one that voices Ellie. Also,
Yeah.
she's the one that says Captain America saved my life in Avengers. She's the waitress.
Oh,
She's the
yes.
waitress in Avengers 1.
Yes.
Captain
Oh,
America saved my life.
she looks
Remember?
familiar.
That's her.
Yes.
That's her. And also she looks like Ellie. I was like, what is I was
What?
thinking it's expression effects.
That's
That was
crazy.
mad. Yeah.
That's uncanny. That is
Then we get to
uncanny.
see also how Ellie is immune because the clicker bit the mum while the child was sort of still transitioning. So I
Mm.
guess the child's cells were able to cope with it. I don't know science, but
You know what?
somehow.
Absolutely. It reminded me of how this is going to sound so left field, but it reminds me of how Blade becomes
Mm,
Blade.
the
She's pregnant.
Daywalker. Mm,
He's a day walker. It's because the vampire blood passes
mm,
through his veins, and it's exactly the same thing. So listen, Deval. So there's things in this, right? So there's also one other thing. There's two morality. You mentioned morality. There's two things. So number one, he goes mad
mm.
and he just basically just kind of deals with a lot of people. But then at the same time, at the end of the episode, he lies to Ellie as well.
Yes, 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 yes,
Now,
yes.
is that going to come back to bite him on his ass? By the way, do you reckon there's going to be a season two?
Oh yes, there has to be. There
Mm.
has to be. I think so. There has to be.
There's got to be, right? Because
Yeah.
number one, this is a big hit, and obviously
Mm,
HBO, for them to kind of do a second season, they have to kind of have the numbers, right? And they've
yeah.
got the numbers, I'm pretty sure, on
Yeah.
this.
More than. I mean, this everyone's watching this show. HBO is
Yeah,
going crazy on this show. This
I
show
know.
is just doing some crazy numbers.
I wouldn't be surprised if they
So,
greenlit season 2 and 3.
I mean, probably you're right. Actually,
You know, they give
probably
it,
you're right. Yeah.
yeah, they give it a good like 3-4 season run, just
Yeah.
to kind of, and hopefully it doesn't go as long as 10 years as The Walking Dead.
Yeah. It shouldn't because The Walking Dead. I'm still actually trying to finish it, but it should have ended earlier on a
Yeah, yeah,
high
yeah,
rather than sort
yeah.
of go low. And yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. I agree.
And maybe, who knows, maybe they could do spin-offs like they're doing with The Walking Dead, because we still got Daryl going off to France now.
Oh my gosh.
Mate,
Can you
Daryl
imagine Daryl trying to speak French?
French.
Cool.
Exactly.
Bennett.
But listen, folks, listen to what we're saying. Go watch The Last of Us. You're going to really, really enjoy it. So many great
Mm,
scenes. And Ellie is such a great actor, like Bella Ramsey. She's
yeah.
really good, man. She should win kind of like a newcomer award or something.
Mm,
Um, so, yeah, take it from us. Go watch that. And what else, Deval? Let's move on to trailers. Let's do trailers, Deval.
mm. So this one's called American Born Chinese.
Mm.
This is basically,
Everything, everywhere, all at once.
yes, this is basically everything, everywhere, all at once. And when I saw the trailer for this, it
I
looks
can't
like it. I
believe
mean,
it.
yeah, have you seen it as well? It's crazy, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's
Not just the
mad.
look, yeah, but the actual actors as well.
Yeah, it's got
So
the
it's got
top main three.
It's got Michelle Yeoh. It's got the guy from Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
It's got the girl, I think, as well.
Stephanie Shu,
Yeah, her
the daughter.
daughter.
She played the daughter.
No, Gordon Bennett. I mean,
I mean,
I
what
like.
more do you want?
Yeah, it
But are
seems.
they? But are they capitalizing on the whole everything
Yes,
everywhere all at once
yes,
thing? And
yes.
like maybe this is just a bubble. I don't know, man.
I wonder, is it a spin-off? It can't be a spin-off because well maybe because everything ever all at once that wasn't Disney, was it?
That was no, it wasn't A24.
A24. Yeah,
It was A24,
yeah. But this one, it's got Michelle Yeoh, it's got Stephanie Shu, it's got
and it's
Kang
Disney.
Khan, it's got James Hong, so it's got the guy from Big Trouble in Little China in
Oh
it as
my
well.
god, there's the
Got
granddad's in it as well.
yeah, it's got
Jeez.
Ronnie Chung. Well, he wasn't in it, I don't think. But it just seems to be a bit of a cut and paste, and also the actual thing that the story and the special effects and everything looks like it. Do you know what? I'm not going to cuss so far on
Yeah,
IMDb. This isn't
yeah.
out. This is not out until May, but on IMDb it's got an 8.9. That's only 24 people that have rated it. But
Wow.
this looks interesting. Disney Plus series. So when it comes out, I'm definitely going to watch it for sure. So yeah,
Oh man, seriously,
Mm,
it's weird, isn't it? It's like
yeah.
I get it, you know, because when did we watch Everything Everywhere All at Once? Because it's been out a
So
while, right?
we watched it May. I
Last
think it was
year.
April or May last year.
So
So yeah.
so that whole buzz and it coming out and the reviews and everything. So they've
Mm.
maybe the people have thought, all right, let's capitalize on this,
Yeah,
and we're not
yeah,
going to get
yeah.
another chance, type of thing. Right. There's one movie that I want to speak about, a trailer. I think people should go out and check, especially um, for the Brits out there. This is called Rye Lane,
Mm.
and Rye Lane is in it's just a part of London, Peckham, South London. And Devout, I'm telling you, right? I watched this trailer, and it's kind of like. It's got this
I
kind of clicky, like it's a rom com,
yeah.
um, but it's like unlike kind of I haven't seen kind of like a rom com like this with like characters like this on the screen, because
Mm,
obviously
yeah.
when you think of a
South
British
London
rom
kind of, yeah.
exactly, when you think of British rom com, you think of Hugh Grant, or you
Mm,
think of like Notting Hill ish kind
yeah.
of type. So this is let me just get their names right. Who did this star? So it stars um
David Johnson.
that's it.
He's from like that show that I watched, the sort of the financial show. What was it called again? Really
Oh,
good show
about
as well. It's called
yeah,
Industry. That's
yeah,
a really good show. That's on HBO Max as well.
yeah.
That's a
I've
good
heard about
show.
that.
Industry, yeah.
So it's David Johnson, Vivian Oprah, Alice Hukin, and some of these names you're probably thinking, who are these guys? But I'm telling you, it's got such a great vibe to it. So
Yeah,
it's kind of almost like as if the we see these two people, they meet
yeah.
at some sort of kind of
I'm actually going to say
museum.
something. I
Go
actually
on.
saw this last year.
Oh, Devaldo. Are
I saw
you
it. I
kidding
saw it
me?
in an advanced screening probably last summer. So I saw this ages ago. So I know all about this film.
So you're the expert on this. So when is this coming
Yeah, I've
out?
seen it. It just came out in the UK yesterday.
Oh man, I want to watch it. I saw the
So
trailer.
yeah, I saw
I
it.
heard the buzz about it, and I
I
was
saw
like,
it.
shit, I want to see it.
Yeah, it's a
It's not
funny
out here,
film.
man.
Funny
Is it
film.
good? Is it good?
Quick,
Yeah.
quick, funny film. It's very witty. It's just different, but it's very much worth a watch. I'd recommend it. Yeah, I definitely
Okay.
want to watch it.
All
Yeah,
right. Yeah. So
definitely watch it.
yeah. So listen, Deval, he goes to advanced screenings,
Yeah.
and he's on his
I just
name's
can't
on the
talk about
list.
it. I can't talk about it
I
until it
know
comes out. But I've seen there's
exactly.
films I've seen now that I can't talk about. I can't talk. I can't say anything. I
Just
can't say
say,
anything.
man.
Hmm? It's like Neo in the Matrix. He's like, you know.
That is brilliant. That's a great scene. All right, at some point, I'm going to hound Deval for some more info on the films that he's seen. All right, listen. So go check those out. So that's American Born, Chinese, and Rye Lane, and there's loads of other stuff. There's some other trailers that I've seen. Just haven't got the time to speak about them right now. But let's do Anniversary Corner. Duval 10 years ago, 2013. Again, Duval and I have kind of mentioned the
Mm.
misses. We've been speaking about the misses that the Marvel Cinematic Universe has had, and this is kind of going to go up there. Duval as one of the misses, because on one hand, you're thinking, wow, this is Iron Man. He gets another solo project, 3 solo projects, and you're thinking, okay, Iron Man 1 and 2, Iron Man, great movie. Iron Man 2, it's got its kind of gaps and stuff, and right, they're gonna build it, they're gonna bring it right back again. But no, they go for something which is a bit half-assed, Deval.
This film I did not like. I put it here for a
Mm,
reason, and it kind of matches a film we're going to talk about in a second.
yeah.
But this film, Iron Man 3, let me down. I've only seen it once in the cinema. I think I've seen bits of it after. There was one couple of nice bits in the film. Apart from that,
Mm,
I didn't like it. Shane Black for me, did a shit job.
yeah.
The film was hyped like crazy, made a lot of money. The post credit scene was shit. The
Yeah.
film just let me down, and that's all I've got to say about it. Iron Man 3, don't waste your time on it. For me, it's the second worst film of the MCU next to Thor, Love and Thunder. It's
Yes.
just a bad film. That's all I've got
Yeah.
to say.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's definitely within those kind of 4 or 5 movies that we've got from Marvel now, where it's definitely in the kind of the four, in those 5, 6 movies that we've got. So go check it out if you haven't seen it. Um, you know, maybe you don't want to
Don't
see it
bother.
now.
Yeah, don't
Don't
bother,
put
man.
exactly.
Don't
Don't
bother.
bother. All right, listen, look, and that leads us nicely into film review time. So
Uh,
Deval and I, we went out and we watched Shazam. And listen, look, Shazam: Fury of the Gods, to give it its full title. So look, here's the thing, right? So Devaldo, this movie, I'm pretty sure this was supposed to have come out like about 2 years ago. Correct me if I'm wrong.
yeah, I think you're right. Ideally, would have come out a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So there's been obviously COVID has happened. There's been a reshuffle at DC, which
Mm,
Deval and I we've spoken about on the show before. James Gunn, Peter Safran, they are now co-CEOs of the DC extended universe, or whatever you want to call it. They had to deal with some movies that were made before, obviously James Gunn coming in. So that's like
mhm.
Aquaman, that's like Shazam, that's like what else?
Well, The Flash,
The
that was
Flash.
yeah, that was meant to be out earlier.
Yeah, that was meant to be out earlier. So
Mm,
this is kind of those slate of movies, and what I reckon is that James Gunn is thinking, all right, let these movies come out, let them have their moment, and then we can start afresh. We can
mm.
start building this whole kind of DC universe thing. So listen, Shazam: Fury of the Gods. The first one, Deval, came out in 2019.
20 was it 2018 or 2019?
Yeah, one of them. What did I
No,
say? What do you say?
let's see. The first one, yeah, 2019. You're right. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
2019. 4 years ago.
20.
Yeah.
Which seems like a lifetime in like
Mm,
comic book movies, right?
yeah.
4 years. When that movie came out, it was fun. It was a breath of breath. It was a fresh of breath air. Fresh of breath air. What the fuck am I? It was a breath of fresh air.
I prefer
I
that
can't
one.
even. I
I
can't even get.
prefer a fresh of breath air. I prefer it.
A fresh of breath air.
I prefer it.
There you go. There you go. A fresh of breath air. It sounds better. It
It
sounds
sounds
good.
much better. I feel like Mariah Carey or the wind blowing through me right now.
Oh shit, mate. Oh shit. But listen, Flixters, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's a breath of something.
yeah.
It was fun. It was dumb. It was silly. But what made it kind of great was this new kind of childish
Mm.
superhero, this man boy type of thing. So here we are,
Man child.
child
Name the
named
cherry.
Cherry. I saw her once on the underground on the tube.
Ah, there you go.
Named Cherry. What was the other one that she did? Yo,
Seven
money
seconds away.
man.
And
Oh,
money
seven.
man, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, listen, no, forget all that. All right. So listen, yeah. So now, 4 years later, 2023, here we are, Shazam: Fury of
Mm,
the Gods, and some people are saying, is this even necessary? Where does it all fit in? And like,
yeah.
with the whole DC all thing. Listen, all right. Before we get into the kind of the things that are the misses, but listen, I just want to focus on the things which are really good. His sidekick, the brother, what's his name? The Adrian Brody, the older one who plays his kind of,
What, the one
so
on the crutches?
the one of the crutches.
Yeah. Mm,
I found him funnier than
yeah.
Shazam.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
found the way his relationship with the wizard, with Jimon Honsu, like their
Yeah.
little banter and like his sort of stuff. I was like, shit, actually, I could see more of like him as the
Mm,
kid,
mm.
so he was actually really good. But describe the plot, man, because
The
it's
plot,
we've seen it
okay,
before.
the plot is very simple. So Shazam 1 happened. and there was some sort of stick of destiny, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. That was left behind, and
MacGuffin.
now the daughters of Atlas, who is the Greek god that held the world up on his shoulders, really strong. And that's where we get the world, the name Atlas from as well in
Mm,
life, the map.
yeah,
So his daughters, who are Helen Mirren, Lucy Liu, and another lady whose name I forgot. But
yeah.
yeah, so they now are going to try and come to readdress the balance of gods not being around. Basically, they want to get this spark to reignite their world, and just readdress the fact that gods are no longer the main thing anymore.
Mm,
So they're going to come do that at the expense of Earth. So they come and get this stick of destiny, and they want to take away the powers of Shazam and then use it for themselves to then ignite their whole new world, rather than build it, in another dimension. They want to build
yeah.
it on Earth. Well,
Uh,
Lucy Liu does, because she's a bit angry. So that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing. They've come to rewrite Earth basically, and Shazam and his people are saying no. That's the fight.
mm,
They've got this stick that can take away Shazam's powers, so it evens the odds. Otherwise, it's going to be like 6 against 3.
yeah.
They've got their own powers. Shazam's got their powers. But yeah, that's really the plot. That's really it. To
Mm,
fight against domination.
yeah.
So
So
that's
basically, there's nothing new, right?
nothing
We've
new.
seen this
No.
formula before.
Yeah.
Even to the point, Devout, they actually threw in a scene where they have to save people on a bridge. How many
Yeah.
times
Yeah.
have we
Yeah.
seen the bridge thing?
A lot of times. A lot of times. A lot of
And
times.
there's so many scenes, so many bits in in that whole kind of extended scene where I was like, they've taken the playbook from Sam Raimi and Spider-Man. You
Yeah.
know, with the close-ups of the woman going screaming. We've
Yeah.
seen it
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
before. There isn't anything kind of new. And this goes back to my point about, what was good for me was the relationship between the kind of the family relationship, kind of seeing more of that and that heart kind of, you know how Billy Batson is growing up, he's getting older. Is he still, he feels like as if he's not wanted, and because he's lost his real biological mom, his dad left him and everything like that, so his whole thing is like he wants to belong. And by
Yeah.
having this
Yeah.
foster family, he kind of gets that. And like, for him, it's his kind of motto is, we all become Shazam or none of us become Shazam.
Mm,
And as his kind of his brother, I'm forgetting what his name is, but the one that's on the crutches, he wants to go off and do his own thing. And Shazam, Zachary, but Billy's kind of feeling like a bit left out type of thing.
mm,
But they all come together, they all kind of fight the baddies, and they save the day. So Jim and Honsu's in it, all the crew's back in it. I honestly, I found the brother, the kind of the step brother, and Jim and Honsu, their banter was like, for me, was like I could see that,
mm.
or like more of
Yeah.
that. I thought that was
Yeah.
really, really funny.
Stephen Hunting's funny the way he has to speak in that kind of accent. You just know he spoke to me in real life. He probably just sounds American, or maybe he's got a
Exactly.
bit of an accent, but he puts on that kind of accent for his setting, for his characters, and
They've amped it up,
yeah,
man.
exactly. And do you know what? The film was fun.
Mm,
It was fun, but I still think it was a bad film. I
yeah,
wasn't expecting much. I was expecting this film to be shit, and
yeah,
in a way, for me, it was more shit than good.
yeah,
But I still had a little bit of fun with it.
yeah,
But for
yeah. Me
me, the
too.
things that I didn't like about this film, okay, there's a scene of Jim and Hunter in prison. They come to him, and Lucy Lee's got a power where she can whisper in your ear and make you do anything. What a power to have, and you only use it a couple of times.
Yeah,
But
I
she
know.
gets Jim and Hunter to say the word Shazam to benefit them in what they're doing.
Mm,
And he says Shazam within 5 seconds, even though he's trying
yeah.
to fight it off. She does the same thing to the crutches boy. He fights it off, and
How did he
somehow,
survive?
oh,
Exactly.
oh, please tell me, how does this little boy against this
A
wizard who's
wizard.
thousands of years old? Doesn't make any
Yeah.
sense. Another thing that got on my nerves a lot. Okay, this film was made in the original was made in 2019, which means it was
Mm,
filmed, I don't know, 2018 or whatever. I don't know.
yeah.
The main characters have grown up.
Yeah.
The boy who plays Shazam,
Oh my god.
he's grown up. They've all
He's a
grown up.
man.
He's a
Yeah.
man. And what I've noticed, when he's in his boy form, he's actually very mature.
Yeah, I
He's
know.
he is mature. He doesn't act like a kid. Doesn't talk like a kid.
He's
But when
more
he
mature than
when
Shazam.
she, uh, I was thinking, hold on a second. Why beneath Shazam? Why does he like go down 10 years? It's like
Yeah,
Shazam's like a 10-year-old. This boy is mature. He does. He's like he wants to get them together. He talks to the boy at lunch. He's mature. But beneath Shazam, he's such a kid.
he's
How does
such a
that make
nerd.
sense?
I know. Absolutely, that's
It
a
doesn't
great
make
point.
sense. And I'm thinking to myself, why is this still happening? Now
Yeah.
Shazam's getting on my nerves because now I've noticed that Shazam gets on my nerves now because he's doing things that his boy form wouldn't do.
Wouldn't do. Yeah, exactly. Because you'd think
No.
to yourself, okay, maybe the boy is kind of like, immature and he's just off on his head. But yeah, you're right. In all the scenes where the younger Billy Batson is there, he's just like normal. He's just like a normal kid. So I don't get it. Yeah, that's absolutely so funny. And also, listen, look, Jimon Honsu's been making movies for the past 30 years, right? Oscar, I think he was Oscar nominated for a Steven Spielberg movie, like his kind of like his debut.
Yes, 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 yes. It'll come to me. Sorry, it will come to me.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's kind of
Armistad. Armistad.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Amistad, yeah. So how can you get Jimon Honsu to, that scene where Lucy Liu, she gets him and he's going like this through the cages. He's getting like, "Ugh," he's got, man, come on. Don't get Jimon Honsu to do that, man. Don't let him be that
And
guy.
crack in
And
five
crack.
seconds, and this boy can
Exactly.
withstand it. Come on, mate.
Yeah. No,
Come
don't
on, mate.
come
Come
on.
on, mate.
There was so many moments where I was like, Jimon Honsu, he's just getting no, like, and there's no shame in this. He's there for the pay, like, give him his paycheck, and like,
Ah,
he's gonna do this right. But come on,
there's a
man.
couple of moments in this film. I think I'm pretty much done with this, but there's a couple for me. The couple of moments that stood out. One, there was a moment when Helen Mirren and Shazam were talking in the park or like a dinner, having lunch or whatever, and he
Yeah,
says, "Oh, something about it's family, like Fast and Furious." And I thought that's the moment where they can take the piss out of the facts. Helen Mirren is in Fast and
it's so
Furious,
furious.
and maybe
Yeah,
something will. He'll be like, "Oh, actually, you look like," and then something will happen. Do you know what I mean? That could have
that would have
happened.
been so
Do you know what I mean?
funny.
There's that, and then the second part, there was a part towards the end where they, spoiler alert, I don't give a shit. Was
Yeah,
something happens to Shazam, and they bury him, and he comes out, and
like
they're like a zombie.
like a
And
zombie.
I thought the dad was going to be like, I hate zombies because he's in The Walking Dead.
Walking Dead.
Why didn't they use that moment to take the piss out of it? He could have been like,
Oh,
oh, I hate zombies. I can't stand zombies. Or he could have said that or something. Do you know what I
you
mean?
should
And
be
then
writing. You should
okay,
be
I think
writing this
of,
stuff,
they're
man.
gonna do it. They're gonna do it. They didn't do it. And then the other part that I thought was a bit funny was Wonder Woman's bit, which was just out of place and crazy
Oh
because
shit! Yes,
they
she's
first
actually
see
in it.
her in the dream, and I thought we're not seeing her face. And Jim
And
and
then
Hunter's
Jim
face,
Hunter,
yeah,
that was
that
funny.
was mad funny. But then
That
she
was
came
funny.
in. She actually came into it.
She
That was a
did
bit of a
it.
surprise. So for me, those are the three parts of the film where I thought they, they were kind of funny. It could have been
Yeah,
elaborated on, but they weren't. But for
yeah,
me, I'm done. This film didn't like
yeah.
it.
And there's two post credit scenes. We forget
Yeah,
about the one that's right after the credits, but there's
yeah,
one which ties into the suicide.
yeah,
No, sorry, not the suicide. Yeah, the suicide's got a peacemaker and stuff. But
yeah,
so what? Will we get another Shazam because he's
yeah.
kind of
He's going to
you
show up
know
again in the Justice Society. I think that's James Gunn tying everything up. That's his wife, by the way, the
yeah,
blonde
that's his
lady
wife in real life.
in
Yeah,
real
yeah.
life. Yeah, so I think that's them trying to tie things up a bit like how Avengers was
Mm,
tied up from the get go. This is them 15 years too late, but
yeah,
obviously, or 12 years too late.
yeah.
But
So this is the
yeah,
JSA. This is the Justice Society, not the Justice League.
yeah, which he was taking the piss out of.
Taking the piss out of,
But
yeah.
and then there's another post credit scene as well, which sort of goes back to the first Shazam, and we get to see Mark
Mr.
Strong
Mind. Yeah.
still in prison, like just trying to get out, obviously. But yeah, I mean, I appreciated the post credit scenes at least. I did
Mm.
appreciate them, but still, for me, the
Yeah, we'll
movie was
see.
a bit of
Yeah,
a
like I said, I'm like you with it. Like, there was a few things which were fun, but this is things that we haven't seen.
mm,
Sorry, things that we've seen like time and time before. So I'm not sure how much mileage you're going to get out of it, but there you go. That
mm,
is the movie, one of the movies that we've seen this week, and the other one, which we'll speak about.
yeah,
Let's get into this one. So Deval kind of mentioned this at the start of the show, like about getting this recommendation to watch The Whale, and it was on our radar way before anyway. So we knew that Brendon Fraser was kind of picking up awards for it. He was getting nominated for the
Mm.
SAGs and for the Emmys and things like that because of his performance. And we watched this trailer and there was this whole buzz. And for me, Deval, I was like, okay, you go in because obviously you go into watching one of these movies and there's all this hype.
Yeah.
We knew that he'd won the Oscar for it, so we know that this is going to be there's going to be some powerful acting in there.
Mm. Yeah.
But here's the thing: that didn't prepare me for seeing him like the way that we see him.
Mm.
And just to kind of put this in perspective, this guy is his name. So Brendon Fraser, who I haven't seen in a movie for God knows how many years. Deval.
I think I saw him in Doom Patrol series, but that was just his
Yeah,
voice. I've not seen him, yeah, in a while as well.
it's been a while, right? And he's got obviously prosthetics, and he is this overweight, this super obese, like honestly to the point where
Mm.
his fat is hanging
Morbidly.
off,
It's like those
morbidly
TV
fat.
shows, 600 pound in me or 600 pound,
Oh, where the
whatever. When they
person had to
can't
get
get out of the
lifted out
house.
with a
Yeah,
crane.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Oh
yeah.
man. And for a lot of people, they would look at that and they would feel disgusted, right?
Mm.
They would, and there's moments in the movie where people say to him, like, I'm disgusted, like,
Yeah,
looking at you
yeah.
just makes me like
Mm.
want to vomit, type of thing like that, right? So you look at this person and you think to yourself, how the hell has he let himself get to this point? And then we get the kind of backstory as the movie progresses. There's
Mm.
things that have happened to him where, like, he's become this way and he lives this way and he stuffs himself and he can't move, he can't get out of his chair, and he finds it a struggle to even survive, to the point where he only has days, weeks to live.
Mm.
Deval. So seeing that was kind of like, oh my gosh, man, this is like quite shocking to see this, and there are people who live like this.
There are in America. I've seen the shows on
Mm,
TCL or TLC channel, and this is the
mm,
thing: the morbid obesity and general obesity is something that is really sweeping the nation in lots of countries. But this is the next
yeah.
level, and it's not just the physical part of it; it's the mental part of it, the part of it that imprisons your mind to make you think that you can't obviously get over it and that you're not worthy, and just it's just like a spiraling. I think he in the film talks about it as something that happened to him since someone passed away in his life, and it just got worse and worse and worse. And even the film itself, this film is based on a book of the same name,
Yeah.
and the film uh, had a feel of a theatre performance, because there actually is a theatre performance of it as well. So if you
Mm,
had that feeling of a theatre performance, that was on purpose. But it's very if you think back to the film, and this hardly happens in many movies. Think back to it. The whole film took place in the house.
oh yeah, you're right.
Apart
You're
from the
absolutely
flashback
right.
on the beach or something, we did not leave
Yeah,
the confines of this house, and it,
of this
it was
house.
made that way to be very claustrophobic. Even the aspect ratio was 1.33. It was
Yeah.
filmed so that there was no widescreen. It's very, very claustrophobic, and just what you see is all compact in one short frame. Uh, and even the mise en scène of the movie was very dull. It wasn't very bright.
Mm.
If you notice as well, outside of the house, another
Always
thing that
raining.
always raining. And when it's always raining, do you want to go out?
No.
And then
Abs-
add that on to the fact that this guy is massively obese. He gets food delivered to himself, never
mm,
answers the door. You know, all of that means he will not leave the house. He's
yeah.
entrapped in his own body. People
Yeah.
come to him and they just walk through the door sometimes. The door's unlocked. But yeah, this film, it was very sad, very well acted.
Mm.
Even the little touches of the fact that he's always sweating,
Oh
sweat patches on
man.
him all the time, and that's the reality of it. People that
Yeah.
are that size, it's the reality, man. It's a sloth, isn't it? One of the seven deadly sins that we saw in
Absolutely.
Seven.
It
It's just,
reminded me of Seven. Yeah, yeah. When I thought about that guy,
yeah,
it's like,
you know,
there's a bit in the movie where he goes and takes a shower, and there's like, he's got this massive brush thing, he's scrubbing his
mm,
back, and his belly covers, like, he's got basically no private parts.
you
But
can't
he's
see
got
it.
you can't see it because it
Mm,
covers everything. And I remember like seeing something like that, like in a documentary and everything like that.
mm,
And again, they've obviously gone through obviously research to make sure that it all kind of all looks like that. But
mm,
fundamentally though, he wants to, there's this one line that he says to kind of a person like his ex-wife and everything. He says, look, he needs to know that he's done one thing good in his life.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And he's referring to this kind of relationship that he has with his daughter, a really kind of
Mm,
fractured relationship
yeah.
because of something that he did in the past. She comes back into his
Just
life.
left. He just left, didn't he? He just,
Yeah,
yeah, left for another man. I mean, that's enough to tear
break.
apart any family. Yeah.
Exactly. And at the same time, he's done that shitty thing, right? But at the same time, I thought to myself, oh, he's got a lot of love in his kind of, there's someone there caring for him as
Mm,
well. Even his ex-wife at some point comes back to him and like, they have this kind of heartfelt moment. And this
mm.
is kind of like, this thin line between love and hate and everything. So there
Did
is
you
that.
notice as well I think each person played a role, you know that? Because he's
Mm,
the carer, who was the brother of his ex-lover,
yeah.
she cared for him, but I also saw her as an enabler. Because even though she cared for him,
She
she
was giving
brought
him
him
food.
food that was not good for him, and
Mate,
she
I had the same
kept him
thought.
doing habits that was not right for him. But it's almost like she needed like him to be around because he's like the only part of her brother that was left.
Yes.
But at the same time, she says she wants better for him, but she's not actually doing it. And then
Because she's stuffing
the
him.
daughter
Yeah.
is the tough love, the sort of
Oh,
love
man.
where I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. This is what it is. Even when she made him a sandwich, she said no mayonnaise.
Yeah.
That's tough
Yeah.
love. And she didn't
Exactly.
speak to him nice. Even when she first entered the scene, she bust through the door. I was thinking, who's this? She was just rude to him. She was the
Yeah.
kind of like if you can even the missionary person, the
Yeah, the
Christian,
Mormon guy, yeah.
he came through and is looking to save. But then
Mm.
there's that message that you can't save someone, they've got to save themselves.
Douse.
There's all these people that had different roles. If they could mesh to one, would have been a perfect one. But it
Yeah.
was just interesting how they all came in and just offered different things, you know?
Yeah, absolutely, man. 100% agree with everything that you just said over there. So, I mean, like in terms of Oscar-winning performance, I mean, who did we have? We had Brendan Fraser.
Mm.
Who
Michelle
else did we
Yao.
have? Michelle.
Oh, for males, you mean? Sorry,
For
for
males,
male.
yeah, yeah, for
Okay.
males. Who else can? Was it
Oh, you
Colin
had
Farrell?
Colin Farrell for the band.
The Banshees of Inisherin, which is
Initially,
on Disney
yeah,
Plus, by the way.
yeah, and you had the other guy for Just Living. Uh, the English
Bill
guy, the old
Nye.
Bill Nye, that's it, for Just Living. And then you had Elvis Presley.
Oh yeah, Butterfield or something like that.
Yeah,
Listen,
yeah.
I've only seen now The Whale and Elvis. I
Mm,
don't think I saw the other ones, but I mean, yeah, man, this was a powerful performance. And
mm,
although he is covered like in prosthetics, it's like it's still a job. It's still a task for the actor to be able to
yeah.
convey all that as well
Mm.
through the feeling. Yeah, man, it was good. It was like uh,
Decent, very decent film. I
it's a
liked
very
it.
decent
I
movie.
just
Yeah,
watched it last night, and I didn't
yeah,
fall
me too.
asleep. I didn't fall asleep, and yeah, I would say I haven't seen the rest of the films or some of them,
Mm,
sorry, but I will say I'm not. I don't think he didn't deserve it for this one. He did. It's all him. Literally, he's worked a lot
yeah,
for this, and to be something he's not, which a lot of actors do as a standard thing. But it was a good film.
exactly.
Darren Aronofsky's first film since 5 years, The Mother.
Wow.
You
The
know,
Mother,
so
which is a weird
mm,
one. Um, you know, um, do we know why Brendan Fraser was out of movies for such a long time? Did
uh,
something happen in his life? There was some
personal
sort of
life. I
personal,
don't
I
know.
think it was depression or
Yeah.
bankruptcy or something. I don't know.
I don't know, to be honest. I don't know, but yeah, he's definitely back, like Eminem said. Uh, yeah, he's back.
He's
But
back.
yeah, no, he's decent film, man.
Decent.
And he was talking about Moby Dick in the film, and that's a whale
Oh, man.
reference, and
Yes.
yeah, just a decent film. It's definitely worth a watch. Go to cinema and see it if you can. But yeah, definitely worth a watch, I reckon.
Definitely worth a watch, that one.
Mm.
So listen, look, that is the end of the show. That's all we've got time for. Next week, Deval, we've got John. Is it John Wick next week?
Yes, we've got John Wick. We've got John
Yep.
Wick, and
That's
then the
going to be
week
the
after
big
that, I think
movie.
it's Dungeons and Dragons. I think.
Yes. So we've
Yeah.
got a couple of big movies that we're going to be speaking about. Obviously, the main one for next week is going to be John Wick. So keep it locked with the
Mm.
Flixters. We'll let you know how that one goes. And in the meantime, listen, we hope you have a whale of a time.